If you use a Festool Domino like the DF-500 or the big boy, the XL-700, you already know that mortising into small stock can be a bit of a challenge.
Many times I've noticed that it can be a bit of a struggle to clamp small components and still have room for the machine. Years ago, I was making 9 chairs with dozens of odd-shaped parts, and I was having a really hard time clamping them stationary to cut the mortises for the dominoes. So I created the dock. This is for the XL700. This is for the DF500. Here I have the machine, and you can see the handle is sloped 2 degrees in each direction. Here on the DF500, there's a small protrusion. It corresponds with that groove. And once you insert the machine, it's locked in place. For the XL700, it works in a similar way. Drop that in, and boom, you're ready to go. And of course, you still have access to the power cord, the vacuum hose, and of course, easy access to the switch. All right, let me grab a wrench and we'll release the plunger rods. In this position, doing maintenance or changing bits is super easy. Oh, and I wanted to mention, with either machine in a vertical position, everything is easy to get to and right where you can see it. Besides bit changes, you can move or adjust the fence and easily attach accessories. But the main reason that I created the dock in the first place was to facilitate bringing these components to the machine. For instance, here I could bring this small piece and place it vertically. My fingers are well out of the way. Or you could use a vice grip style clamp for added safety and boom, make the plunge. Now, I'm sure you can imagine that trying to do this the conventional way and hold or clamp these small parts would be awkward at best. Other accessories like the Seneca Adaptor XL is perfect for something like this with its built-in stops. Having your machine in a vertical position in one of the docks is not just for small pieces. Here you can see that this component, it could be quite a bit bigger and it'd still be very manageable. Again, if you feel better using a clamp, that's super easy to do. And now it's single hand action.
It's certainly easier in many situations to bring the parts to the machine rather than the machine to the parts. It's quicker, it's safer, adjustments are easier, and this leads to improved accuracy. The dock, with hundreds of positive testimonials, you're going to love it.
I promise I'll explain why I made this to begin with, but first, let's go ahead and attach it. The 90-degree deck has been through a number of changes, and I made it because the one provided by Festool is small, plastic, and just doesn't have enough reference area. All right, any flat surface will do, and now that dude is dead on flush. All right, looking at this photo, it's hard to get scale of how big this maple countertop is. It's not very wide, maybe 14 inches wide, but it was really long. And here is why I developed the 90-degree deck. So you may be familiar with the Festool connectors. They get cuts from the edge and then these plunge cuts from underneath. Well, I didn't have the capability of flipping this top over by myself, so I just made the 90-degree deck and clamped that dude in place. It worked amazingly well. Here you can see I have an older version of the deck attached and these blocks with sandpaper secured with some clamps. And I can make these plunge cuts all the way through the sides of these drawer boxes into that back component. And then I'll add through dominoes, securing that corner and making it nice and solid. And here is an excerpt from an Instagram post by my buddy David Bedrosian. He made a fantastic video showing the deck in action. Check it out. I find myself pleasantly surprised quite often by the fantastic support of a very positive community of woodworking and other craft on Instagram. Thanks a ton for sharing that, David. This is known as a dock stop. Just wait, it gets much better. With either machine in its dock, attaching accessories is super convenient.
Hello, I'm Ramon Valdez. I have something super exciting to show you. This is called the dock stop. Let me turn these machines around and I'll show you how it works. So this is a new version. This is the older prototype, one of many renditions. They act the same way. They attach with these 5mm knobs included, right? And now you have infinite adjustment for your depth. Let's say you're making a cut in something this thick and the 5mm increments aren't quite right. This is just about ready to blow through. 5mm more would be too deep. 5mm less wouldn't quite be enough. I can put this exactly where I want, something like that. Drop that rod down and boom, we are locked in, ready to make the cut. Now in the past I've shown where you can take a piece of pipe, something similar to that, and that'll control the depth. You snap that in place, but that is specifically just for that one task. The dock stop is the same for either machine, but when you order, you must specify which machine because the depth rods are different lengths. And even if you have the big boy, the 700, and a Seneca adapter, you have a 4mm bit all the way up to 14mm bit, the dock stop's gonna work. And yes, of course, this will fit the dock that's finished, lacquered, polished version that I make and sell, or the flat pack version. So there you have it. The dock stops here.
Another place where the dock stop would shine is when you're joining miters, like carcass miters or picture frame miters. Especially if you're using long dominoes purchased or even shop-made dominoes that are long, you're going to want those mortises as deep as possible. And just in case you have both the DF-500 and the XL 700, I don't need to sell you two dock stops. You could simply purchase a different length depth bar for your other machine. Oh, and I've been getting asked, can you use the dock stop with the deck? And the answer is yes. However, this was a bit of an afterthought, and so you can see that inside radius of the deck kind of interferes with the dock stop. But with the dock stop slightly tilted, it still works, or you could add spacers or washers between the deck and the dock stop. Now, you will need longer machine screws. These would take an M5 by 16 to 18 millimeters long. And no, I don't offer longer knobs because one of the machines doesn't have a through hole, and inevitably somebody could over-tighten that and strip the threads on the machine. Okay, I literally could have put hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonials in here. If I left you out, I apologize. More than likely, you will be in my highlights on my Instagram page. And hey, that's going to do it for this video. Wanted to say thank you so much for your support. The dock has been a fantastic seller since 2016. The 90-degree deck has been incredible with consistent sales. And the new dock stop has been moving out the door. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Thank you tons for watching, and go make something beautiful.